Factor the polynomial completely. Here we have 6x squared plus x minus 12. First thing I'll check, do we have a greatest common factor? No, nothing will factor out of all of those. I've also got it written in descending order, meaning I've got my x squared term first, and then x, and then my constant term. So because my leading coefficient is not 1, this is where I'm going to have to do the rainbow method. So multiply 6 by negative 12. I call this the rainbow method. It's like we've got our two pots of gold and then the rainbow connecting them. So multiply 6 times negative 12. Well, 6 times negative 12 is a negative 72. So now we're looking for factors of negative 72 that add up to a 1, the number in front of that variable. So factors of negative 72 that add up to 1, well, I know since it's got to equal a negative 72, 1 will have to be negative, 1 positive. So I can go ahead and just write them all out. 72 and negative 1, no. 36 and negative 2, no matter how I change that, it's not going to work. 24 and 3, not going to work. 18 and negative 4, not going to work. 12 and 6, no matter how I change that, we're not going to add up to a 1. What about 9 and 8? So 9 plus negative 8 does equal a positive 1. And 9 times negative 8 does equal negative 72. Now you don't have to write all of these out. If you think of the correct answer right away, it's great. But if you have a hard time finding the pair that works, I think this is a great idea to just write down all of the factors. Okay, now that we have the correct 9 and negative 8, the correct factors that add up to 1, what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this polynomial. So we're still going to have 6x squared. Now 1x we're going to rewrite as plus 9x minus 8x. Notice this still adds up to 1x, but it just is a way to rewrite it so that we can factor by grouping. And then still the minus 12. So it's really the same exact value, we just use these two numbers to rewrite it. So factoring by grouping, I'm going to make my little symbol so I can kind of look at these separately. 6x squared plus 9x, what's that, the greatest common factor there? Well, I can see 3 goes into both of them and x. So I'm going to factor out a 3x. 6x squared divided by 3x, I get 2x. 9x divided by 3x, I'll just be left with a positive 3. Now this one, negative 8x minus 12, well, I can see both terms are negative, and I know both of these terms were positive, so I know I want to factor something negative out, and it looks like 4 will be the greatest common factor there. So I'll factor out a negative 4. So negative 8x divided by negative 4, I get a positive 2x. Negative 12 divided by negative 4, I get a positive 3. So notice when I factor out a negative number, it changes both signs. So good news here, we've got 2x plus 3 in both of these sets of parentheses, so that tells us we did it right. We've got one term there, one term here, and so we'll factor a 2x plus 3 out of both terms. And then in the first term, I'm left with 3x. The second term, I'm left with minus 4, and that will be my final answer. Again, if you want to check this, FOIL it out and make sure you get this original answer.